maybe what I'll have to do is to probably cut the sound here, and probably now hopefully it will be better. All right, and and I would just like to share with you that today it's a very special day for me. I celebrate my 7th rebirth day. And today marks some of you probably already saw my post in Facebook. Today marks my 7th year that I was diagnosed with bowel cancer and survived this terrific challenge. So today I also initiated another project, uh, which is to share information about my journey in this fight against my bowel cancer. And I created actually a page in Facebook and a profile in Instagram that I would like to kind of ask you guys if you guys can like my page and follow my profile. I'm planning to kind of share my journey and what happened with me, all the things that, how did I get to know about that, the treatment that I had, and then I did a lot of life-changing habits, and I'm going to be sharing with you in Instagram and Facebook. So especially because when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was 41, I think. It was 2013. Yeah, so I was 41, and I was not at the risk age of plus 50 plus. So this website is about raising awareness about young people less than 50 years old, for them to talk to their GP and talk to their doctors, make sure that they do some checkups, because yeah, if it is detected early, it can be cured. In my case, it wasn't early. I was already pretty much 100% obstructed, but I was very lucky that, and I was blessed by God that I managed to dodge that bullet. So my website, sorry, my page is, unfortunately, I'm going to do just in Portuguese because yeah, como venci meu câncer. Yeah, that is, I'm going to put in in there. Facebook, Instagram is arroba como venci meu câncer. So that's my profile in Instagram. If you can follow there and help me and share with others, that probably, well, everybody is open for that disease. So the more people they know about it, I hope that the information will help other people to prevent that disease. And if they do have the disease, I hope that some of the things that I did that I think it helped me can also work for them as well. So thank you very much for that. And I'm planning to do a blog as well. We're going to tell stories and going to put my day-to-day of the things that I do, that my wife, she's helped me to do. So just keep an eye on that. So let's get down to the business now. And I'm really happy to be here to share my experience as a recruitment panel member who have recruited lots and lots of engineers and project managers. And I see a lot of curriculums and a lot of cover letters. I'm going to talk about cover letters probably in a different live session, but a lot of curriculum vitae that they're not good. When I look at the curriculum vitae, I think, I shake my head and think, nah, that's not good. And they don't even, I don't even spend a lot of time in reading those curriculums because yeah, it's so bad that yeah, recruitment panels and employers, they probably just discard those straight away. So, and for us is a little bit more challenging, majority of us, because majority of you guys like me, you probably, English is not your first language, and after we have overcome the previous challenges in relation to English language, recognition of the qualification, visa, etc., it's time then to hit the market. We're going to target the market. So, and recruitment stages here in Australia, it can be a little bit different from the recruitment stages in our own country. But usually here, there are some phases. They're not just limited to these phases, but usually they are the curriculum vitae analysis, and then the analysis of the cover letter, sometimes a telephone interview. Usually the recruiter, if there is a recruiter, they may make some contacts first and trying to suss out if it's worthwhile a face-to-face interview. Sometimes a psychometric test in some positions employers are kind of asking quite often now, because in a lot of even the engineering positions and project manager positions, especially well when we recruit, I'd like to know that they are technically strong, but also they have some good soft skills. And psychometric testing, it can give us a good assessment about soft skills as well. In other cases, depending on the position, some recruitment companies, they also doing what they call video interview. So they send you a link with a mobile app, and then they send also some questions, and then you record the video answering those questions. You send those videos back to the recruitment company, and then it will be part of the shortlisting as well. And then after that, the recruiter or the employer will be shortlisting candidates. But it's very important to say that until you get to the shortlisting stage, there is obviously one of the first steps is cover letter and curriculum analysis. And if you don't really have those two documents very well written, it's going to be very difficult for you to advance. So the importance, the first for us to understand is probably the importance of the curriculum vitae. So as I said, in my case in Brazil, we often advise that a CV should not exceed 2 pages, sometimes just 1 page. But here in Australia, it's normal for a CV to have several pages, five, 5 pages, 4 pages, detailing the results achieved and personal attributes, not just the technical skills, but also the soft skills. And the Australian market is really increasing competitive, is very competitive, and obviously nowadays with the crisis, there's more supply than demand, so the market is really, really competitive. So it means that when companies they advertise positions, they usually get uh, lots and lots of applicants. In the recent recruitment process that we did, we advertised for a senior project manager, a civil engineer, and we ended up getting more than 70 applicants. So it's really, really very competitive, and having a very good document in the beginning is very, very important. So I'm going to give you 4 hints for your curriculum vitae when you're writing your curriculum vitae, so you have better chances to be shortlisted. Obviously, if you follow those 4 hints, it doesn't really guarantee that you're going to be shortlisted, but it's probably going to stand out from the other 50, 40, or 60 curriculums. So hint number one is that some candidates, believe or not, they don't include the basic information in the CV. And this is a very common mistake that many applicants they make. Even the basic information they don't include in their CV. And some of this basic information, it could be a no-brainer, but believe or not, it's a very common mistake. And if those information it's not in the CV, the recruitment panel or employer, they're probably not going to spend a lot of time reading. So personal data, you've got to make sure that you've got your personal data there. The goals that you are after for that position. And you've got to remember, curriculum vitae is not one curriculum vitae for every single position that you apply. Each curriculum vitae needs to be tailored to that particular position that you're applying. So when you're detailing the goals of that curriculum, it is related to the position that you are applying for. Skills, same skills. Sometimes a person has a lot of skills, but for that particular position, you probably need to tailor that and put your skills according to that position as well. Academic training or schooling, sometimes there's no information about academic training or schooling. Languages that you speak, professional experiences, main results obtained. It's not good just for you to have the places that you worked and what did you do there, but it's also important the results that you have achieved in that particular job. Personal and professional profile. If you are an engineer, focus on infrastructure, and if the job is about infrastructure, you need to make sure that your professional profile, focus on the infrastructure projects and infrastructure skills. Courses that you did. Interesting to put some extracurricular activities, especially because nowadays companies they are concerned about work-life balance. So sometimes the extracurricular activities that you include, it may make some weight when they are analyzing curriculum that you're not just a workaholic that will not have any work-life balance. And professional references, it's not mandatory. You can actually put that professional references will be confirmed later on. But if you have, you can include them there. Hint number two, I mentioned a little bit already about this, but hint number two is about customization. So you gotta customize your curriculum. So another common mistake is that the applicant they use the same CV template and content for all vacancies that they apply. So it doesn't matter if it is company A, B, C, or D, position A, B, C, or D, they use the same curriculum vitae, they use the same content. So that's a big mistake. So the CV needs to be or must be personalized and customized for each vacancy to be contested. And this does not mean that you must invent experiences just to align with the position, but you gotta look at yourself and then, all right, if this position, let's say that a civil engineer is applying for a position to work in with the structures, and that civil engineer has lots of experience in not just structures, but also in residential, commercial, roads, and other areas. So make sure that you research about the company, research about the projects, and if the position is about structures, try to focus on structures results, your structural capabilities, your structural skills. So we'll see if we have any particular question there. No, we don't really have any particular question. Checking Instagram. Sorry, when I look at different cameras, because I've got Instagram here, I've got Facebook here, and I've got a little bit to the top, I've got YouTube. So sometimes I gotta be sharing the attention to the three platforms. So that's why sometimes I look at here, look at there, and look up a little bit. Not sure about. Just going to check YouTube if it is anything there. YouTube, no, no, it's all good. All right, so we'll keep going. So hint number three, evidences of the achieved results. So as I mentioned a little bit before as well, companies, they looking for professionals who will bring positive results to projects, to services, to clients, and highlighting the high achieved results is very critical part of your CV structure. So especially in the engineering area. Engineering area usually the recruitment panel will have engineers probably in the panel, and engineers, well, we are very logic, we are analytical, and we like to see results. So if you include concrete results that you have achieved while doing a particular job, you're certainly going to be impressing. The panel member will probably going to be impressed. So Projects, they usually have several KPIs or key performance indicators, and the panel members, they will appreciate if you detail some of the key KPIs that you have achieved. It could be in terms of the scope management. It could be in terms of the cost of the particular project. You can talk about some of the finances as well, because nowadays, although it could be technical, but if a project manager and engineer have achieved CPI equals to 1 or greater than 1, which is the actual cost divided by budget cost of work performed. So if it is more than 1, means that you had a very positive financial result. You can talk about non-conformances, you can talk about rework, sometimes percentages that you may include. If you deliver the project on time or ahead of schedule. So a lot of the technical terms and technical KPIs, it could be impressing the panel members as well. There is a question here on Instagram from Gabio. Thanks, Gabio. Is a photo of yourself on the CV important? I don't believe it is important. In my CV, for example, I don't have a picture of myself. Um, some people, they put the picture. I didn't put the picture in my CV. I don't believe it is important. If people want to see how I look like, they probably can go to LinkedIn or Facebook, and then they can find myself. That's another important thing. Take care what you post in your Facebook and Instagram, etc., because companies, they are looking at the social media to see what you do in your spare time, and if you have crazy pictures in your social media, probably doesn't really help your recruitment process. Gabio is also asking Instagram. Thanks, Gabio. What are the soft skills they like the most? Yeah, that's interesting. And the answer is depends. For example, when we recruited last year, we recruited an electrical engineer. We had a big demand for electrical works, and we recruited a senior electrical engineer. And the soft skills that we were after was about performance management, because we had some issues in one particular area, and that senior project manager or senior electrical engineer, as well as the technical skills, understanding about infrastructure, electrical and ITS, etc., had to have very strong performance management capabilities. So that's why it's important that when you're applying for a job, pick up the phone, perhaps talk to the recruitment agency or to the recruitment agent, and ask if they have any particular demand or any particular expectation from the candidate, especially in those engineering fields. Usually the position description can be a little bit generic. So that's why it's important to ring the recruitment agent and then have a good conversation. They're not going to probably tell everything, but they will probably going to give you the the main expectations from that candidate. So, and then according to the expectations that they say, and then you can highlight in your CV. Under hint number 3, which is evidence of the achieved results. In engineering vacancies, I'm going to give an extra hint. It's very interesting to divide the results obtained in a specific area of the vacancy to be applied. So if you're applying for, let's say, if you are a mechanical engineer and the vacancy is about design of equipment, obviously you gotta make sure that you include the results of the designs that you have delivered in that area there. So if the position is for design engineer and if you haven't designed anything, so it's going to be a bit difficult for you to be shortlisted. So you just got to pay attention for that. And the other area is the results obtained in other correlated areas, such as management, business, strategy, and other related technical areas. So sometimes especially for engineering jobs. And nowadays, probably companies are looking at engineers with a good background in project management as well, especially if the company is a contractor. If the company is a contractor, is because it could be consulting firms and they do basically design and they provide services, but then there is contracting companies that usually engineers also they are very successful, but they got to have a very strong project management and delivery management background. So you got to try to identify if the position is a design position or a consulting position, or if it is like a delivery, if it's a delivery position. And hint number four, yeah, we're almost finishing because we got already nearly half an hour already. Hint number four, don't leave until the last minute to write up your CV. So that's a very common mistake as well that a lot of people they make. And if you are a good procrastinator like me, you will leave until the last minute. You will first thing that when you open up the job vacancy, you're going to look when is this position closing. So if the position is closing in 3 days time, in 2.5 days time, and that's when you're going to start working on your CV and cover letter and everything. So it means that you will be constrained by time, and you can see already what's going to be the end result. The end result, it's probably not going to be good because you'll be rushing. You are not going to have time to do some research about the company, and you're not going to have time to perhaps redo your curriculum. So your CV should be really written with a lot of planning and research. As I said, you got to research the position. Perhaps you go to the company's website, you have a look at the projects that the company is delivering. Maybe try to find if they have any particular culture, try to identify the culture of the company, if they have preference of a particular style of engineer, and then you can tailor your CV with that. There's a question here in Instagram from Bruno. Thanks, Bruno. Do you think it's important to insert my visa status on the CV? For example, highlight if I have a student visa. I believe it's important, Bruno. One, because you're being honest. And if you, as a student, well, you can be a student with rights to work 40 hours. I believe that some students, they have rights to work 40 hours a week. Others, they, majority, they have working rights of 20 hours a week, as I did. So it is certainly a constraint, but for that, I encourage you guys to apply for temporary or part-time positions because I believe that I explained a few times previously that if a company is engaging a recruitment company, and sometimes I see some comments that engineers they think, oh yeah, but I just can work 20 hours. Companies they don't recruit students with 20 hours and so on. And there's a very good reason for that. If a company is going to engage a recruitment company to do the recruitment, let's say for a full-time permanent engineer, this recruitment company is probably going to charge the employer anything between $15,000 and $25,000, depending on if you have psychometric testing, if you have video interviews, if you have shortlisting, if they're going to participate in the interview, etc. So it can go anything between $15,000 and $25,000. So if a company is paying a recruitment agency, let's say $20,000 to assist with the recruitment, the company will want somebody that will stay with the company at least for a few years because it's a big investment and the company will need somebody that they can work straight away. They don't need a lot of mentoring. So, but when you apply for a part-time job, let's say the part-time job is 20 hours a week. So the company is aware already that they are after somebody to work 20 hours a week. And hopefully these 20 hours will coincide with your with your availability. Some students, they can work half a day every day, or some students, they can work the full day, but just few days a week. So luckily or hopefully, the needs from the company will match with your availability. But I think it's very important to be open and honest, Bruno, in your CV that you have a student visa, you can work part-time 20 hours a week because you're showing respect to the employer. And if the employer needs somebody to work full-time, they probably not going to call you, but at least they appreciate that you've been honest. If there is another part-time opportunity, they may remember you and think, oh yeah, I remember that Bruno, although yeah, he was a very good engineer, but he couldn't work full-time. But now we've got a part-time position, so perhaps they can give you a call. And that's another thing that happens with recruitment companies and employers. When the candidate is very good, but if there is any particular blockage that they don't fit one particular position, if another position comes up, and if you then fit to that position, they may have you in their database and they may give you a phone call again. So, but that's a very good question, Bruno. I think it's better to be open and honest and put there, be open that you can just work 20 hours. Uh, yeah, that's probably what I have. I hope you enjoyed, yeah, those 4 tips. Probably there are a few more tips that I would like to give to you, but yeah, I'm exceeding the 30 minutes. And as I said, I'm going to give you guys the link to my ebook, 10 challenges that most overseas engineers they face when they arrive in Australia. So I just sent in Facebook. I'm going to type in here in Instagram. Oh, actually, Instagram is easier because if you go to my bio, there is a link there, linktree/Gerson Ida. When you click that one there is a button for you to request your PDF for your free ebook. The ebook is for free. You just need to give your email and you will get an email with the PDF that you can download your free book. Those challenges are the challenges that I faced when I arrived here in Australia 15 years ago, which I think it's interesting for people that are planning to come to Australia or for those ones that are already here and they are in their journey to get a professional job. So I'm just going to check if there any final questions. If there's no further questions, if you have any particular suggestion for next live videos or for videos that you would like me to record, please send me in the comments. In Instagram, you can send me a direct message. In Facebook, you can send me in Messenger or put in the comments. And YouTube as well, you can put in the comments. And I will endeavor to record this video. So I'd like to thank you guys very much. And I'll see you next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time. See you then and bye-bye.